Hello? Hey, I can't hear you. I don't know if you can hear me. Hey, I still can't hear you, but there should be a button, maybe on the bottom of the screen. Maybe if you click it, that'll allow you to connect audio or connect a microphone. Uh-oh. Not sure if you're still here. The picture's frozen, but it should just be a button there. It'll say like, how do you want to connect? I don't know. That's true. I don't know if you're on your phone, how it'll appear. But it might say use built-in microphone or something.
Yes, hi.
Hey, what's up?
Hi. Hello, nice to meet you. I don't know where to look at your face. I don't know where I am, to be honest. I'm not good at this with these programs.
Oh, that's okay. Are you on your phone or a laptop?
On my cell phone. I don't have my laptop. It's been damaged for longest time ever, and I need to buy me a new one.
Oh, okay. Your cell phone. So, you don't see me on the screen?
No, how did I do? I look at I'm looking at the screen of the calling number, but how did I go about seeing you on the screen?
Oh, that's a good
The video call?
Yeah, well, it does. Is there an option if you were to touch the screen to enable video?
Oh.
I did just see you. I just had your video. So I don't know what happened.
I don't know what happened either. I was not hearing your voice. I was seeing you, but not hearing you.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I don't know where you are now anymore. Hold on.
Okay.
I don't know what else can I do about this.
I know.
Okay, there you are. Okay, now there you are. I got it.
Yay, we fixed it. What did you do? Just so I know.
I don't know. I moved something backwards, whatever.
Cool. Well, good. I'm glad we got this to work. How are you doing today?
So sorry for the appearance, but it's Saturday. I had a rough week at work. I'm beginning to do my chores here, my household chores, and it's not easy.
Yes. I know what you mean. Well, cool. Well, no worries. What I'm going to do now then is I'm going to bring your chart up on the screen, and then I'm going to ask you a few questions before we get started to make sure we're on the same page. How does that sound?
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you.
Awesome. And that's why I like to do the video calls, not really so that we can see each other, even though that's nice, but so that I can bring the charts up.
Sure.
Okay, can you see the chart?
I do see the chart, yeah.
Okay. Also, I should let you know too, this is recording. I will send you a copy of this recording in about 7 days, and in it you'll see everything bigger so that it won't be so small on your phone.
That's fantastic. That really would help a lot to understand it better. Yeah.
Cool. My first question is always about your personal information in this top left-hand corner. I'd like to know if I have your name spelled right and your birthday, time, and place. If you need me to read it to you, I can do that as well.
Yeah, January 11, 1967.
Yes.
10:56 p.m.
Okay.
According to my mother. Hopefully she was right. I don't know, but in the family, these things are not being, it's a disaster. Just not well kept.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in South Africa, where things are just forget it.
Yes.
My last name, I don't know if it doesn't matter, but my last name as single, my maiden name, I should say, is San Lucas.
Okay.
Stutman is my ex-husband's last name, but I kept it because it's just technicalities, just to not to go through the process of change.
Okay. I'm like, yeah, it doesn't necessarily matter for what I do because I don't do numerology or anything, but I always like to make sure I got like a name that you're comfortable with at the top of the screen. Are you okay with it as it is with this?
Yeah, actually, it doesn't matter to me anymore. My spiritual name, I'm a yoga teacher. I was initiated in yoga some years ago.
Yeah.
And my yoga name is what matters to me at this point.
Oh, cool.
Long story. Never mind. Long story.
Yeah, I love it. Cool. And then I have here your birthplace, Ecuador, and I'm not sure how to say this. Guayaquil?
Guayaquil, Ecuador. It's a city on the coast near the Pacific Ocean
Ooh, pretty.
in South America.
Awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, so that's what I have. Thank you. My next question for you is how much do you know about astrology? It just helps you know how to interpret things for you and to learn more about you.
I know very basics. I was always interested, but especially since I was catapulted into the spiritual world, I began to pay more attention. And so I have a little vague, just a vague understanding of the signs and, very little in general, just basics, very basics.
Okay, cool. That's helpful. Thank you. My next and my last question that I do have us for 30 minutes today. Is there anything in particular during our time that you would like to learn about or talk about in order to make this a success?
Okay, yeah. So I feel like I'm at crossroads. I feel like I am. There's a lot going on, man.
Yeah.
I know. I think there is a change coming for me, and I think I know what it is about. But I am feeling very uncomfortable or hesitant about not knowing the exact steps that I need to take. And I'm very like, I have to, if angels talk to me, if the universe talks to me, I need for them to talk to me very clearly. Yeah. I am just get pissed off when things are not clear.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, you want me to change? I know the change is coming or whatever, but just tell me how to go about it. What is going to happen? Because right now the resources, everything is just not there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I need to know what are the next steps right now for the next 6, 7 months, 8 months, maybe I should say 6 months to a year. Okay. What is that is going to happen? Because I just I don't know. I feel like I need to know more clear. Need to have more clarity about.
Yeah. Well, yeah, definitely.
And the other question would be, I'm sorry. The other question would be, is this the next steps are related mostly to my spiritual life, or what? I've been in the corporate world for a long time, and I don't know if I made the mistake of not getting out of it about 8 years ago. No, less than 8 years, maybe 6, 7 years ago, when I was through a very highly spiritual transformation. Yeah. Very high. I mean, I'm talking about really high. And however, I stayed for whatever reason. I was in such a high state that everything to me was just light, literally light. Yeah. So I didn't care where I was, but I'm not at the highest state anymore, and I need to know maybe. Well, now is the time to go. I don't know.
Yes.
I'm sorry if I'm not clear. It's just.
No, you're totally clear.
I need to know where is that I'm going next.
Yeah. Cool. Well, awesome. I can definitely help with that. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to talk to you about some things going on right now in your chart. I've got your natal chart in the center, and I've got where all the planets are right now on the outside. I'm going to point out what I see, and at any time, I'm going to hit on those things you mentioned, and if any time you have a question, or if I'm not clear, or if you want to say something, feel free to interrupt me. I like that. What I want to start with is one thing that you said a few minutes ago. You said that you feel like you're maybe at a major turning point in your life in some way. And I would definitely have to agree with that. What I'm going to look at actually is that maybe a turning point would have started really last year in April of 2018, because last year I would have seen the transiting North Node when it was in Leo make a square with your natal North Node in Taurus. And to me, whenever the nodes square the nodes, this is a thing, it doesn't happen that often. Every like 9 and 18 years, they happen at different spots. To me, this does indicate a life-changing moment, changing the direction of your life to try to get it back on track. In some way. What you would have had to get away from perhaps would have been really a sense of stability, a money source, doing something perhaps that maybe used to make you happy so that you could basically change your life to use more of your talents, doing something else that you like, seeing a different future, and maybe even associating with different people and different groups of friends. So I definitely
Yeah.
that a change in how you make money, a change in the talents that you use, which would open up new doors for you with new possibilities for your life, new people that are good. So that was then, and we still feel these cycles, you know, so it's going to continue for a bit. But when we get now towards what's happened more recently, I think the things that stand out to me definitely do have to do with your home, where you live, and with your work. Maybe I'll start with work first. Sometimes work's just easier for me personally to talk about. What you do have is Neptune transiting your 6th house of your job and of your daily routines. And it is, not this year, but next year, going to make an opposition with your Pluto in the 12th house in Virgo. And it's going to do it in May of 2020. What this can bring is definitely a big change in your job. A lot of times with Neptune, I use the word dissolving. So you could have a job that you used to do, that maybe you're attached to, that you've been doing for a long time, and then you could now be realizing that maybe that job doesn't resonate with you anymore. You don't feel a spiritual connection to it. You don't like it, or it's just slipping from underneath your fingers and decide you want to do something else. So I do believe that your job should definitely change. To me, in May of 2020 is when that job change may become more real for you to do other things that resonate more with your soul. With Neptune here in the 6th house, it typically does mean definitely spiritual work. So I definitely could see either you doing a spiritual job, leaving your corporate job and doing a spiritual job, or maybe doing something like a spiritual retreat, something that you feel like is going to help you in that sense. Neptune also does have...
Yeah, so I do, my spiritual retreats are mostly at ashrams, at the ashram every year from my school. I belong to the Shivananda tradition.
Cool.
And then, so I think that maybe what you're referring to is just for me leaving this world behind, maybe. And so, I mean, that's what I don't know. I'm very like, so drastic in the way I see things. It's like either this completely or nothing, you know? It's,
yeah.
I've been split between the corporate world. One day I dressed up in a suit and very fancy to go in the middle of Manhattan.
Yeah.
And the weekend I am in my garb of holiness and yoga outfit, meaning a tunic. I don't know. So it's like too split, and like it's time for me to just decide what is this one, or is the suit, or is the tunic.
I like that analogy. In my opinion, it's the tunic, because because you have Neptune in your 6th house, and Neptune's the intruder here, because Neptune is not the planet that's used to being in this spot. So you have your Pluto in Virgo that likes to do your job in a certain way. I need to do this on the day-to-day in order to feel successful, in order for my routines to work, in order for XYZ. And then the transiting Neptune, not usually in this spot, is saying, wait a second, you need to break the routine. You need to break the habit to doing whatever you're used to doing day in and day out on the day-to-day to do something else. So I do believe that it is that. Does that mean that you have to do it tomorrow? I personally believe that it might take some more time in order for you to finally leave that job, or to get the courage to leave it, or to believe in your own heart that this is what you need and make it happen. And I am leaning more towards May of 2020, which is really only a year from now, that being either the time you either leave your job officially, or you make the transition out to doing it.
I understand.
It may feel uncomfortable, because right after Neptune does this in May, it's, well, I guess not until May, but a year later, it's going to conjunct your Chiron. So again, you may feel like this is uncomfortable for work. I've never had a daily routine in which I did this, or I still feel like I need to do different things on the day-to-day. But I think still it will be very good for you. This also, again, is another alignment that makes me think a job and spirituality, or in spiritual healing people, or even healing yourself, would be absolutely positive and necessary in the coming years. While that's going on, you're also going to have, let me see when this alignment's going to come exact. Uranus, Venus. I guess this is going to happen this year and next year, but especially that next year time frame. It's that May 2020 I love. At the same time Neptune's going to oppose Pluto, you also have Uranus squaring your moon, which is going to make you want to take a non-traditional path, do the non-traditional thing. Maybe you're feeling emotionally restless in some way. And to me, in May 4th of 2020, I might see you take actual steps here to maybe act more on your emotions, to do more of the things that you need to see a better future in a more stable way. That, to me, at that time, could definitely bring a career change, for sure. Definitely a major career change. I might also see, let me see where Saturn's going to be. I might also see...
Why the family... I don't have support from my, I'm sorry to interrupt. I don't have support from my family in all of this. And maybe it has to be that way. But man, they make it so difficult. I mean, it's only someone who has had a strong spiritual experience, a mystical experience can understand me, I guess. But the family just, it's like staying in Manhattan, you have a great job. It's not that great, really. But, you know.
I can relate. Yeah, I feel similarly about my family in a lot of ways. But yeah, that was the next thing I was going to mention, because before we get to next May, and next May is the time that I really like for you leaving your job, new career, doing more of what you feel your soul needs to feel better. There's some things that are going on beforehand, and a lot of that does have to do with home and with family. And what that is the Saturn-Pluto South Node conjunction that I do talk about in a lot of my videos is in your 4th house of home and family, and it's hitting your Sun and Mercury. So that definitely could create some very strong and intense feelings about home and family, maybe attachments, fears, insecurities, arguments with home and family, not sure where you want to live or what that's going to look like. And that, to me, is the main theme for this year. Next year is the leaving the job, moving. And well, I think moving could happen this year, but next year is leaving the job and going in that new direction. And this year is trying to figure out, what do I do with my home? What do I do with my family? Emotionally, am I prepared? Am I ready to make this big commitment to to reinvent myself in some way? I might also see a bit of a move too, as well with this alignment. Mercury, let me see when I might see more of that move. And it does look like maybe around December, right before that May alignment happens. Saturn, Mercury. Yeah. Either moving home, rearranging your home, changing your family a bit. You may still be feeling a little bit uncomfortable with your relationships, one-on-one relationships with people that you're close to with Chiron and your descendant, but I think they're going to start to improve. You're going to, even if you're feeling uncomfortable about past relationships, you're starting to get more excited about new relationships, what the future holds, and what's out there coming around December.
Yeah. Ooh,
and even a lot of this.
I mean, sorry, it's like, well, right now maybe new things will develop in the coming months, but as for right now, the only option that I seem to have seems like to be back in South America to some extent, like a home base. But then for me to be spending time at the ashram, which is the place where I really, really love. And I don't know.
Where is the ashram? Is it close to like where you were in South America, or is it somewhere else?
Well, the ashram that I like from my school is in the Bahamas, actually, in the Caribbean. So it's in between.
Yeah. I can look at a map. I can look at a map in a second and look at those places that you mentioned and see astrologically if there's a place that I like better. But I do like you moving away from where it is that you are now to somewhere else with a lot of these alignments. Either that or some travel.
I mean, I don't want to push it. I just sense that, I don't know, I just, living in New York is very expensive. And if I lose this job or leave behind this job, it won't be so, affordable for me to, if I go to the spiritual life, I'm not going to be able to afford a $2,000 apartment.
I might also see, because this month, I can show you again when we look at the chart, but this year, Uranus is going to be squaring your Venus almost all this year as well. So this year could also be before you actually leave your job and move in December and into next May, there could be a lot of figuring out things emotionally. Are you ready? Figuring out things with home and family and rearranging your resources. So that could be saving money, putting monies in savings. It could be taking some of your money and savings out to help you figure out other things. So there could be a lot of that this year too that needs to happen.
Yeah. 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 It feels like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm like, because I wish I could tell you, like, you can just leave tomorrow. But in my opinion, it's like most of the stuff when it comes to the feeling better about your job, doing something different, it's in between December, possibly a move, and then May of next year, you're going to feel better. And in between now and then is like getting up the courage, helping your family to understand whether or not they will be able to understand, and figuring out where you want to move and what your soul needs in order to feel better, and rearranging finances for that.
Yeah.
So I have a map up which can give locations where you might have better or worse experiences in certain locations. Is there anywhere in particular that you want me to look at or start with?
The points are New York, Bahamas, and South America. My home country in Ecuador. I don't know where else. Okay. South America, the Bahamas, where the ashram is, and
where?
I don't know.
You're gonna have to forgive me. Where exactly are the Bahamas? Are they off the coast of Florida, near Cuba?
Yeah, the Bahamas below, right below Florida, like in the little tip at the bottom of the tip of Florida, somewhere there, before Cuba, right before Cuba, above Cuba, kind of.
Oh, okay.
If I'm not mistaken, yeah. It's one of those islands there. I mean, the Bahamas is a bunch of little islands, but
yeah.
The ashram is Nassau, Nassau, Bahamas. You will have to enlarge it, I guess, to look at it better, but
oh, okay.
It's between Florida and Cuba.
Okay. Yeah, I think I have it right here. Unfortunately, this map doesn't really give the things that great.
Yeah.
So here, I guess.
Yeah.
Cool. I guess if I had to say some things about New York and the Bahamas, they're around similar like lines in astrology. You can see these lines that go through certain locations. So in my opinion, they may have a little bit of like a similar flavor, a similar kind of experience. Are either one of those my favorite? Like, to be honest, they're not, like, either one of them are not necessarily places that I would absolutely recommend for you.
Really?
Yeah, I know. I'm like, yeah, you might be fine there, but I guess I can tell you why.
The Bahamas wouldn't be a forever stay. It's like out of the year, 3 months is the most that I would spend at the ashram, but that would be more than enough to recharge and do the spiritual work for myself and help others at the ashram.
Yeah.
And serve, because we do a lot of serving to others in the ashram as well. Yeah. And I haven't done that enough lately, and I think it's time for me to serve.
Yeah. Yeah.
It seems like, I don't know.
No, I think it is. I mean, Neptune, which is the planet in your 6th house, is the planet of charity work, is the planet of service, spirituality, helping people, healing yourself and others. So I definitely think that's the right direction for you. And you can go to any of these places and you'll be fine. I just wanted to check to see what lines we're going through here. I think maybe you weren't even considering this, but just looking at some things here, I actually really love Brazil for you. I don't know if there's any opportunity out there, if you could look for an opportunity or an ashram or whatever there, but I really love.
Yeah, there is an ashram in Brazil and Uruguay also, South America as well. I have friends in Brazil, but it's not like I would consider it a home base, to stay, a main point of living.
Yeah.
What about Ecuador? I don't know. Things are complicated down there, but for me, the work is something different at this point.
Yeah, I think if you had to ask me, definitely Uruguay, Paraguay, Brazil, love those places. So those are my favorite. Ecuador, how do I feel about that? I mean, you got this Saturn-Pluto line that goes near Ecuador. I think you might feel very committed to the place. It might give you purpose. It could definitely be very transformative in a sense for you as well. So I think that you'll be fine there for sure. But in terms of a place where I feel like you're going to feel a lot easier, relationships are going to feel better, you're going to feel more at home, connected to the area, I still like Brazil way more than Ecuador. Even though you may feel very committed to Ecuador and you still may have some very transformative moments there.
If I were to go to Ecuador, I would be in the mountains, mostly on the beach side, kind of, more of in the mountains, in the Andes, in the mountains, more probably located more close to the mountains than the ocean.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Anyway, it's a small country. It is a small country. You can go either way, back and forth. It doesn't matter. But anyway, just thoughts that, I don't know, you can help me clarify a little. But it's good what you're telling me. It's very good, very helpful.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think you're going to be fine in Ecuador. I think it could definitely be a very transformative. I mean, you're from there, you've had some very powerful experiences there that you feel very committed to. I probably like Ecuador maybe a little bit. Well, yeah, I think I like Ecuador maybe a little bit more than the Bahamas. Not that they're bad there, but my favorite place still, Brazil, Uruguay, Paraguay. I love that the best. So I don't know if there's an opportunity that could open up there unexpectedly, or if there's something else going on there that you could seek out.
Yeah.
Even if it's temporary. But I think that could be.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Cool. Did you want me to look at any other places before I go back to the chart?
I don't think so. I can't think of anything really that I could feel now.
Cool. Yeah, I just wanted to ask another thing too, perhaps I should mention as we were talking. I definitely do think that a lot of this career, you changing your career, changing your job is definitely going to be more of a long-term thing, because I'm looking at Uranus in the next few years going to conjunct your North Node. I'm going to get the date that's going to be, but that also can bring an unexpected thing, very positive, an unexpected change in your talents and in your financial situation that I think is going to make you feel really, really good about your job and about what you're doing on the day-to-day. So even if you don't have the answer about what's going to happen right now, I like July of 2021. I think you could get some clarity about what happens and then start to commit to doing something that you really, really enjoy. It could just,
wow.
To be honest, it could just be in between May of 2020 and in July of 2021, where maybe you're kind of like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I know I need the spiritual path. Maybe you're going to move or travel a bit to all these different places. And then to me in July of 2021 and in the months after that, I think you're going to start to understand, especially by April of 2020, oh, this is what I need to do. This is my job. I'm going all in on this, and you're going to feel way better about all these things now that you're worried about.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
right. Let me see.
So, as a financial support, you said before, if I heard you clearly, it's things will be falling in place.
Yeah, well, this year definitely I would see like rearranging your finances and changing things a bit. It might be a big investment that you have to make, maybe losing money or spending money in order to do some of these other things. But I do believe that eventually, especially as we get towards 2021, when Uranus conjuncts your North Node, that will bring something unexpected or sudden that you may have realized that is going to be really, really positive to help you with your job, your daily routines, to help you with your finances, to feel way better about all that. And to me, I think that any problems maybe now that could be a little frustrating with money, let me look at some things. You might have some help. Oh, this is still going to be 2021, January. So it's still 2021 when I feel like a lot of financial stuff may be made more clear. New sources of money would come in there. Neptune. Okay, Uranus. All right.
I mean, I will have to learn to live with less. That I know is part of the sacrifice that I guess it will happen, but I am 52 years old. I can say I need to go back and ask for help from my family to bring about these changes or support me until I settle down in all of this new life per se. I don't know. Maybe I just take the money out of my retirement account and run away.
I know. Well, I do.
Believe me, thinking of that a lot.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm like, how do I want to say this? Because you do have your North Node in the 8th house, and the 8th house is about to have a moment in your chart. And the 8th house is typically one of money going out instead of money coming in. So there is definitely part of me that does want to say it is very possible that you could have to use some of your retirement or take a loss financially for a little bit until you get back on your feet around 2021.
Wow. Okay. Well, yeah. Well, it is what it is. I guess so. We'll see.
Yeah, and I would see, especially with Pluto and about to, in a conjunction with your sun, Pluto rules your second house of money. I would see definitely a huge transformation in your finances, how you make money, how you spend money, your gifts and talents that you use. Definitely could feel scary with Pluto involved, but to be honest, I'm pretty optimistic because even though it's in this conjunction, it's in a sextile to all the planets in your sixth. So I think there could be some opportunities, even if they aren't here right now when you want them financially, but I think there could definitely be some opportunities financially that could open as a result of some of these decisions right now. Yeah, I still think it's that in 2021. Okay. Maybe I'll just look at the Mercury retrogrades happening this year and mention where those are going on. The last Mercury retrograde we would have had last month or in March would have been in your 6th house of your job and daily routines. So that would have had you rethinking what you did on the day-to-day, where you worked, what your job looked like, if that was meaningful to you. Then the next Mercury retrograde is going to be in July. And it's going to be in your 10th house where the eclipses are going to be. So in July, it's going to be all about rethinking your career. Do you really want this career? Do you really want your life to go in this direction? And perhaps a new career with the eclipses being there and you thinking of doing things in a new way, putting your life in a new place that you feel more comfortable with, even if, again, it does take some work and some decisions to be made. Then the last Mercury retrograde of the year is going to be in Scorpio in October. It's going to be related to perhaps some similar things that came up last October in 2018. And this is definitely going to be about finances because Mercury is going to be in your 2nd house in October. And it's going to be changing your finances, rearranging your financial situation, maybe redoing old things that you thought you already had figured out with finances in order to allow you to do some different things that are more exciting to you. And I think that's ultimately what's going to prepare you in December to either move or if you don't settle down in a place, then to travel somewhere.
Repeat the last part. I'm sorry. The last part right now, what you just said, if allow me to move, what? I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I think the Mercury retrograde that happens in October of this year, when it comes to rearranging your finances, is going to ultimately be the final thing that's going to prepare you to either move somewhere else or to travel for a bit until what when you become more clear of what you need to do next. And I do like you traveling in terms of a spiritual pursuit. Yeah. I like that. Pluto. And also is possible too with Pluto going like retrograde in your 4th house of home and family that your home could be, you could end up definitely having a very different home life or living somewhere very different. To me, this is like a very rare, like once in a lifetime big kind of move that could also occur as well. But then I do like these things, even if it just feels hard to get all the details together and scary.
Oh, yeah.
I know. Mercury. All right, just seeing if there's anything else from any of these other charts. Yeah, another thing in this chart, I really like it. I think it's like gonna feel uncomfortable now, but once you make the move, I think it's slowly gonna come to you that that it's gonna be a good thing. I'm optimistic. 19. Okay.
Well, that brings me some relief, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay. Well, is there anything else that I can answer for you before we go?
No, I think that would be the what I was curious about at this point. As I need a confirmation, I guess.
I know it's like it doesn't make dealing with the family any easier, or like leaving or quitting the job any easier. But I know I definitely do think that it's going to be a good step, even if it feels uncertain and takes a few months after you make it to get back on your feet again. But I think I think it's gonna.
Yeah. Well, I thank you very much for the reading. It's been very clarifying for me.
Yeah.
It brings me a lot of peace now, more peace and more confidence. I mean, I always, at this point in my life, I need to trust the universe completely. And I have done that before, yeah. Mm-hmm. But sometimes you get these little doubts, and like, oh my God, is it or not? I don't know. And I shouldn't be at that place anymore after all the spiritual stuff that has happened to me. I really shouldn't be doubting myself anymore. But it is what it is.
Decision, it's not easy to make big decisions, especially if it sounds like, your family doesn't support it, or doesn't understand. So
yeah. Thank you so much.
Hard on yourself, but I like it. I think changing your job and leaving that is going to be very good to open up a bunch of new doors, even if it feels uncomfortable doing it.
Thank you. Yes. We'll do that. I'll keep you posted for next reading, I guess.
Yeah, let me know how it goes for sure, where you end up. I was like, I want to go spend some time at an ashram. That sounds wonderful. Maybe one day I will.
I highly recommend the Shivananda ashram. People are very serious. The teachers are fantastic. Serious teachers who are walking the talk.
Yeah. And this is the Bahamas, right? Where this one is?
And it's close by the Bahamas, and it's one of the least expensive ashrams.
Ooh, okay.
And the beaches, the waters there are sacred waters. Trust me, you get healing in those waters.
Yeah.
I have experienced it. You get healings in those waters.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
In front of the ashram.
Yeah.
You don't venture anywhere. You just there, and you get healings.
Yeah. I love it. That sounds amazing. I'm going to have to look at this one.
I will send you the name somehow of the place. Shivananda Ashram.
Yeah.
Bahamas. Or ashram, you Google ashram in the Bahamas and you will get Shivananda Ashram.
Okay, cool.
Anyway, just a tip.
Yeah, I'll definitely look.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'll send you the email in about 7 days with the video so you can watch it again.
All right, so this recording will be also for me. You will email it to me? How does that work?
Yeah, I'm going to email it to you, and it's going to be a link to a private video.
Okay, all right.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you again.
Yeah, you're welcome. I know.
In the yoga, we say Om.
Oh, I love that. Cool. Well, thank you so much. I hope you have a good day, and I'll talk to you later.
You too. Take it easy. Keep up the good work. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.